Students, this is Devang Shah from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today, let's start and discuss about the basic component of electrical circuitry. There are three basic components of electrical circuitry. It's called resistance, inductor, and capacitor. So, in our primary things like to survive in this world, we required a roti kapda makan. Same way, to design electrical circuitry, we required resistance, inductor, and capacitor. So if you see, there are various home appliances like you have a microwave oven, television, fridge, and washing machine. All circuitry or all home appliances you can use because of the resistance, inductor, capacitor. Now, why this is very important? Because to make this kind of home appliances at the scratch level, you require electrical circuitry. Now this electrical circuitry is made up of resistance, inductor, and capacitor. So all these home appliances are operated on this electrical because of this electrical circuitry, where it consists of resistance, inductor, and capacitor. So that's why these are the primary components. Yeah. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to take resistance, inductor, and capacitor and in a circuitry as a part of the circuit element, and then we have to apply AC circuits or we have to apply AC voltage or a DC voltage. So ultimately in this unit we are learning about the DC circuit. So this particular resistance now we are going to connect in a circuit, and then we apply DC voltage across this resistance. So here you need to check, once you connect resistance, inductor, and capacitor under the DC biasing condition or under the DC excitation condition, you need to check the behavior of resistance, inductor, and capacitor. So in our first section, let's start with and check the behavior of resistance under the DC excitation. So that's why you can see here one of the circuit where resistance is only the element in the circuit, and you apply the DC battery, a DC voltage. So once the current is going across this resistance, how it's going to behave under this condition, you can check here. So these are the basic components, how it looks like in a market. Once you connect this components, these elements in a circuit, it's look like resistance, inductor, and capacitor. These are the symbols of resistance, inductor, and capacitor, and these are the units of resistance, inductor, and capacitor. So the unit of resistance is ohm, unit of inductor is Henry, and unit of capacitor is Farad. Right now, once you see this here, once you see this, resistance is a passive element. Once it's like you apply a voltage, it will simply drop the voltage, but not this is the case with inductor and capacitor. Once you apply the voltage to inductor or capacitor, it has a phenomena to charge and discharge. So ultimately capacitor and inductor are working with respect to time. So ultimately this will give you a response with respect to time. Now resistance has a symbol, and it's a unit ohm, and unit is ohm, and you can see once you go to market and buy the resistance, it will look like this way. Now you can use this resistance as a circuit element. Now what's the use of this resistance? You require this resistance because of the voltage drop in the circuit, and because of it also regulates the current. So ultimately this resistance will give you two important fundamental functions. One is it have a voltage drop, and another, it will flow the current through it. Because of the flow of current through it, you can regulate the flow of current. So these two important functions are very useful to design a circuit. So here our ultimate aim is to design the circuit for those kind of home appliances that we can use for the society. So for the society. So ultimately you have to use the resistance to have a voltage drop, and that particular voltage drop will drive your home appliances. And as well as if you want to control the operation of your home appliances, you need to control the value of current, and that is also possible through the by the value of resistance, or by proper choosing the value of resistance, right? So here you can see how you can use those kind of resistance in a PCB or in a circuit diagram. You can see these images. Now, once you go in the market and you want to buy a resistance, see this particular resistance is available in this form. So you can see the image. This particular resistance is available in a market. But once you go and once you go and ask anybody, I want a resistance. It's not simply you can get the resistance, but you have to tell the value of resistance, and that particular value based on the physical structure of this resistance. So if for anything, any object, it must have the value of resistance, and that depends on its used material and shape of this object. So here you can say the resistance is proportional to the length of this object, as well as the resistance is inversely proportional to the area of this object. So ultimately R is proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to area. By that way, if you solve this equation, you will find R is equal to rho L by A. So ultimately R is proportional to L, R is inversely proportional to area, so R is proportional to 1 by area. So once you solve this two equation, you will find R is equal to rho L by A, where L is the length in meter, area A is area in meter square, and rho is called the resistivity. Now this is a very important parameter, because resistivity is nothing but the property of the material that can decide whether this particular object has how much that particular object is offering how much resistance. So resistivity, if you convert this particular equation R is equal to rho L by A in terms of the resistivity, you will have rho is equal to R into A divided by L. So ultimately the unit of this resistivity is called ohm into meter, right? But in real world, you need to understand that particular term as well, and that particular term if you define, where it's called the reciprocal of resistance is called a conductance. So we define here conductance as G, and the unit of conductance is mho, or 1 by ohm, right? So ultimately from the resistivity you can also define the conductivity. So conductivity is nothing but the reciprocal of resistivity, right? So it is ohm by meter. And based on this conductivity, you can now categorize all the materials in three forms, or it's a type of three forms. One is called conductor, another one is called insulator, and third one is called semiconductor. So based on this conductivity, now you can categorize those kind of material, and based on this material, you can use your you can further use this material based on the resistivity or offered conductivity. Yeah. Now, resistance is never alone, right? So if you want to understand the resistance, you also have to understand the voltage and current, which is closely related with the understanding of resistance. So now there was one scientist who has given the law, which is called Ohm's law. You can see this. The Ohm's law will give you a relation of resistance, voltage, and current. So ultimately, if you want to find a proper relation with the resistance, inductor, and with the resistance, voltage, and current, you will find this particular relation using the Ohm's law. Now, this is the fundamental law where there are three important parameters now: voltage, resistance or resistor, and current. So you always remember this terminology. You consider voltage as a force, current always in a motion, and resistance will always create an interference in a path. So ultimately resistance is a path, current is always in a motion, and voltage was always give you the force. So ultimately, once you find the relation of this resistance, voltage, and current, then one parameter, once you compare these two parameters, the third parameter you have to take as a constant, right? So you just take this as an example, where if you have a vehicle and every day you are coming from your home to this college, right? So you are coming from some crowd area, then coming to highway, and then from highway you can come to LJ. So during this process, once you come from any crowded area to the highway, see the path is much more uneven, or maybe there is a traffic in between. So the resistance is high. Ultimately, when the resistance is high, even your accelerator you consider as a voltage. So the vehicle of your accelerator you consider as a voltage. Even you make a constant, I mean this, the voltage is constant or accelerator is at a constant speed, constant race. You can see this because of the uneven road, because of the crowded area, because of the traffic, you cannot drive your vehicle at a very fast speed. So ultimately your speed of your vehicle you can consider as a current. So when the resistance is high, the value of current is low, right? So this is one of the relation where resistance is inversely proportional to current if the voltage is constant, right? Now let's take the another case. Once you come to the highway where the road is very smooth, right? So now here the resistance become constant, and you accelerate your vehicle, that means you are going to increase the value of voltage, the speed of the vehicle is also increases, right? So what does it mean? If resistance constant, that means if you increase the value of voltage, the current is also increases. So ultimately voltage and current, this relation is a linear relation. So voltage is proportional to current if the resistance is constant. So you can see this particular by this equation you can say that voltage is proportional to current if the resistance is constant, and current is inversely proportional to resistance if the voltage is constant. So ultimately you figure it out, all this terminology, like voltage you consider as a force, current is always in a motion. So you can see in this particular picture where the red balls are the currents which are continuously in a motion. Voltage will act as a force, and resistance is nothing but your overall circuit path, right? So from this Ohm's law, if you follow this triangle, you can. Thank you very much, student. If you have any doubt or any question, you can ask me all the question in a comment box. Thank you very much.